Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Denver, Colorado, it's time for Franchise Bible Coach Radio. Now, here are your hosts.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Franchise Bible Coach Radio with Rick and Rob. I'm your host, Rob Ganley, and I'm here with Rick Grossman, author of the Franchise Bible. Some of our listeners may know that we've been working through the Franchise Bible Coach Fight for Your Franchise Challenge in the second quarter. And I encourage you, go to franchisebiblecoach.com, check it out, name, email, and you can have access to no-cost resources and coaching. We hope it helps. Whether you're a franchisee, franchisor, or supplier, go ahead and check that out. I also want to thank SEOsamba.com, our sponsor, for sponsoring today's program. They are the creator of the Franchise Marketing Operating System. And again, they work with franchisors, franchisees, and suppliers to bring value to that group and allow collaborative environments to market franchise brands. So anyway, with that said, we have a special guest with us today. And I wanted to go ahead and have my co-host Rick introduce Julian Gordon, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Amramp. And so let me go ahead and pass it over to Rick. Rick, how are you today? And you can go ahead and introduce Justin for us.
Oh, thank you, Rob. I appreciate that. And yeah, we are excited to have Justin on the show today. Justin, sounds like you were telling us a little bit about your business and the legacy of your business. And we're very, very much in tune with that. We agree with that philosophy, and hopefully you'll share some of that with us today. But folks, you're in for a treat. So Justin, since I'm first up, I want to ask you, as you introduce yourself, to tell us a little bit about your background and how Amramp came to be.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you both, Rob and Rick. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. So I'm Chief Operating Officer for Amramp. Amramp was founded about 22 years ago by my father, Julian Gordon. And his vision basically was to provide wheelchair ramps to help people age in their homes, stay in their homes rather than go into nursing facilities. And he first patented our core ramp, modular ramp product. And his second genius really was franchising the distribution model, where he started a network of caring and empathetic franchise partners to carry forward the mission of helping to remove barriers for folks with mobility concerns in the US and Canada. And the story I share with you guys is when he first started the business, when he was considering franchising, he actually went out and found a class action lawyer that was suing franchisors on behalf of franchisees and basically asked, what are they doing wrong? What can you learn? And he bought a couple hours of that guy's time and walked away with some key action items that we've held ever since, which is basically always do what you say you're going to do, put the interest of your franchisees first and make sure they're making money. And the rest will kind of fall into place. And that's how we've always operated our business since then.
Well, that's fantastic. And that falls right in line with our servant leader model that we always preach and teach here at Franchise Bible Coach. And even wrote about it in my book, Franchise Bible. The whole section on servant leadership is what we call the upside down pyramid. And it's putting franchise owners first. And it sounds like that's something you guys have adopted from the very beginning. So your father sounds like a very wise businessman. So very, very, very good. And it's fun to see how business's legacy down to the family. That's really a fun business. Has it been a family business for some time?
So I've been there for 7 years, and I came from another healthcare industry, and I run basically our three companies, which is our franchisor that supports the franchisees. I have run our manufacturing division, which makes our core ramp product, as well as a franchise that services Massachusetts and Rhode Island, as well as West Virginia, actually. And when I joined the company, I actually started at the foundation, kind of like what you said, Rick, where I learned the business from the ground up. I worked in our factory, in our installation teams for a year and a half. I loved it. And then just slowly took on more and more responsibility through sales and operations, and now to my current role as Chief Operating Officer.
Very nice.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, I got to tell you, I love the story that you shared about your father, because that means the intuition and the character was already there. we right. Train and teach people that approach, and it's great that he had that foresight to say, this is what we have to start with, right? The end in mind. I love that. And so that's great to hear. And so here we are in May of 2020, right? And I think when we all look back to this time frame, we'll know what that time frame represents, right? Yeah. And in the franchise industry, one of the great things about it is you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I think this would be a great time to be in that position. But let me tell us a little more. How have you guys been? How has the COVID-19 situation reshaped your thinking and your future? Like, how are you approaching this?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, Rob. So what it really did for us is it just brought to the surface what we really need to focus on, which is our people. And we kind of set a very simple mission, which is at the beginning of this crisis to take care of the people that care about our company, especially those that care about our company. And that's our franchisees for sure, our customers and our employees, and basically put their safety and well-being first, and then find ways to adapt and support them. So for our franchisees, it's providing regular check-ins, keeping the lines of communication open. I call everybody around the country. We divide into 4 groups with myself and 3 other guys, and we just check in, how are they doing, help make sure they understand the government loan assistance if they need it, when things are a little bit slower, to kind of help them get through that. The nice thing about our model as a whole is we're already outside the home when we install the ramps. So we've basically adapted that to make it even more contactless. Our base consumer is really the aging population. That's the people that we want to help the most, and we certainly are very concerned about them, and making sure that we put their interests and their safety first. And at the very beginning, we realized that we're here to prevent them from going into nursing homes anyway. That's kind of what we do, by allowing them to get outside their homes safely and age in place. I think this COVID crisis, unfortunately, just kind of hit home more, where now people, it's not just one more reason not to want to go to a nursing home if they can afford to, they can find the way to do it. And that's one way we're there to help with.
Yeah, I was going to ask, as we do have some coaching clients that are in the senior space and various industries, and they're seeing a shift, right? Because of what you just said, that people are changing their focus on safety and what is safe and what isn't safe. So are you finding that more people are interested now at staying in the home than going to outside communities and facilities?
Yeah, it's mixed. I think right now, most people in the world are just trying to figure out, everyone kind of froze, right? And
don't know what to do. Yeah.
Yep. But as the world, as you kind of said, Rob, as of May, around the end of May, we're seeing the world start to open up, and that is seeing the people starting to want to come out of their homes and get out in the world again. And that's where we're already seeing a lot of increase in calls and work for that, to support that.
Yeah, we are, and we agree. And I was just talking to some franchisors earlier today, and everybody's kind of anticipating that once we get through this time, that there's a boom on the other side, that there's going to be just a surge of entrepreneurial spirit and folks looking to have their own businesses, and should be good for business growth for you guys as well. Tell us about your franchise owners and how they're dealing with this pandemic.
Sure. So as a general group of folks, they're caring, empathetic people. That's, my father has always described them that way. It's, they chose to join us because they believed in helping people. They're not just there to collect a paycheck. First of all, people can see right through you when you show up at someone's home just for that reason. So they want to help people. They want to make a difference. And we've all rallied around each other in this crisis. We've always had the open communication between franchise partners. So essentially, we're making the lives of our customers better. We're an essential service. So throughout this pandemic, we've remained open. And one thing that I say when I have the opportunity to speak with one of them is, I always define courage. I've learned to define courage as, it's not the absence of fear, but it's the ability to take action in the presence of fear. And so these frontline workers, these franchisees that are still going out and meeting with customers to try to help them, they're truly courageous.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, especially when this whole thing first happened, right? And your franchisees in a way are like the first line responders, right? They're trusted advisors. They're people that others would rely on, right, to figure out, what do I do next in some cases. So so with that being said, is there any like a favorite story that might be maybe linked to now this situation that we're all going through, or just a real world story about your franchisees or just servicing your community in some way? Anything you'd like to share about that?
Yeah, the story I always like to share is a personal one for me. Is when I first joined our company, I worked as an installer for a year and a half because I loved it, just to get that base knowledge. And my favorite part of that job was always when I started hanging up the handrails. And the reason why was because I knew that pretty soon I'd be done with the ramp. The ramp would be installed. And then I would get to let the customer know, hey, come out and check out your ramp. And you get to see them in some very beautiful moments. You get to see them look out their door and for the very first time see the relief and joy, because they may have not been able to get out of their home for days or weeks or even months. And just the relief that they've gained back some of that independence. It's just magical. And I think the best part of our business, this comes from my father, he always says that we get thank yous and God bless yous, and we get paid to do so. So it's such an amazing job to just be thanked for doing what we do. Wow.
Well, it's obvious that you guys do have a caring spirit, and that's kind of important for your business as I'm learning here. Do you describe to me your ideal franchise candidate? Because I assume that you're still interested in expanding your franchise network, correct?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So can I tell we have a franchise website people can check out?
Yes, please do. Yeah,
sure.
absolutely.
It's franchise.amramp.com, and that's the franchise kind of recruitment or investigative website. You fill out a form that goes to me, by the way, so there's no like salesperson. I'm just here to help them along their journey. Ideal candidate is kind of what my father said. It's someone that's caring and empathetic. And I think, Rob, you said someone that wants to be their own boss, someone that's driven, and you get to help people. And I think it's just a great business to be in, what we're in right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. And that's franchise.amramp.com.
Correct. Yep.
Perfect. Well, check that out, folks. And we'll get your logo up on our Fight for Your Franchise Challenge website on the Wall of Fame too. So let's make sure we get them on there, Rob, and people can click through there as well if they want to learn more when they go to franchisebiblecoach.com and sign up for the franchise Fight for Your Franchise Challenge. So that's great. So Justin, I know we're getting kind of close to the end of our show here, but if you were to think about just kind of a gold nugget piece of advice, you've been in this business for a while. You've told us a lot about your ethos and your belief system. But our listeners are franchisors and franchise owners all over the country and all over the world. And they're dealing with the same similar struggles that we all are. And so if you were to be eye to eye with them and just give them a gold nugget piece of advice, what would you say to them right now?
Say help each other, find ways to help people. It may not be just joining our business for sure, but you hear the adage, which is, if you find a job that you love, you won't have to work a day in your life. I just suggest upgrading it to find a job where you're helping people like we do at Amramp, and you'll get thanked for that, and you'll find even more satisfaction and value in that. And just thank you for everybody that helps each other. Those people on the front lines especially are truly courageous.
Yes, absolutely. Well, and the other thing too with your business model is that the senior space is a very attractive category in franchising because it's growing. We have a large population of seniors, and there's just a lot of things they need. And what a great way to get into a caring opportunity where you get to give back, and really the satisfaction at the end of the day, it seems like it's pretty high.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely. Good deal.
Most of my career, I've always gravitated towards ways of doing business, but getting that benefit of, like you said, we get the God bless yous and the thank yous and the appreciation. Sometimes it's hard to get that too, right? Your customers really see that value, and you really know you've impacted their life, and still can run a good business, right? And so that's amazing. So with that said, I don't know if there's anything else to contribute. Rick, any more comments before we close the show out?
Well, I don't think so, unless Justin has anything else to add. We sure enjoyed having you, and look forward to seeing the growth of your company. And where's your headquarters?
So we're based in Boston, Massachusetts.
Oh, nice.
We
On the East
manufacture the
Coast.
ramp. That's where we support our franchisees, and yeah, so we're here to help, and I'm here to help everybody, especially along their Amramp journey.
Very good. The Amramp journey.
Beautiful.
All right. No, I think that's it for us. Rob, back to you.
I think that's going to do it for today's show. I really want to thank you. Thank you, Justin, for being here with us today. Justin Gordon, Chief Operating Officer of Amramp. And so again, don't forget to our listeners, check out franchisebiblecoach.com and the Fight for Your Franchise Challenge. We'd appreciate that. We look forward to serving you in the future. Thanks again.
Thank you, Rob and Rick. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Justin. Have a great one. Thank you.